What's up, guys? What's going on, guys? It's your boy COULDNT back at you with another one. Yeah, I'm gonna start being more consistent on my channel and start making videos. So I just released a video about what type of rider and stuff like that, and I'm sitting here looking at my bike right now. I'm around 999,400 something miles. So I got like 300-400 more miles to go before I hit that 100,000 miles on this bike that I've had for 10 years. And I'm calling out any moto vlogger out there who has a sport bike that has over 100,000 miles or close to 100,000 miles. I want you to comment. I want to see what type of other people who have a bike, a sport bike like mine, that has that many miles. Because a lot of people are all about the new bikes, all about, you know, the great deals and all that stuff like that, and get the new. But I'm a loyal person. I've always been a loyal person, and this was my dream bike 20 years ago when I first started riding. This is the bike I always wanted, and I got it. And it's the type of bike that's like, when you have a dream bike, or you have a dream, something that you really want, and you get it, you should always hold on to that, because that's what started this whole journey of riding. Was this bike, was this the bike I wanted. So I'll make a video about that later. So as I was thinking about the times I've had on this bike, and thinking about like what kind of things that I do when I first got this bike, oh man, wait till you hear these stories, because I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy. When I first started riding, you know, I rode and I did my thing. I was stupid, okay? I've done some stupid stuff on this bike, and let me kind of give you some things I've done. Now again, this is when I was younger and I started riding, and I wanted to be cool, I wanted to be hip, I wanted to be badass, I wanted to be all that. So I'm just going to be like honest with you and to tell you guys what kind of things I did when I first started riding. And that as I grew up, I'd look at it down and say, man, I was so stupid. Okay, so one of the things I'd done was, when I first got this bike, you know, I tried to top it out. And that's what most people do. A lot of people, when they go from a certain size bike, because I went from a 1995 Honda CBR 600 F2 to this bike, totally different power, totally different kind of feeling. And so the first thing I did after a week of riding is like, I'm gonna see how fast I could go. So I got up on a Sunday morning, went for a ride, went on a highway, and it was like Sunday, but even before church, where I kind of figured there's not gonna be many, you know, cars out on the road. There's not gonna be many police out there, because maybe shift change, or maybe they're a little lax, and I was going toward the country. So, you know, I was really trying to get out there. So I got on my bike and I took off, and you know, as I got faster, I got to like 150, and I'm like, wow, I'm really hitting him, you know. And I dug down and I, you know, got really low to the ground, and I started to think, how much faster can I go? So as I increased my throttle, the lines in the road, like you got those dotted lines, I was going so fast that was a solid yellow line, not even a dot or not even a pause. It was solid yellow. So I was like, I am really getting it. So I was saying, like, how much can I go? So I kept going, and when I got to about 180 miles per hour, and I still had more throttle to give, I had to get off. I had to stop, because it was getting scary. It was already dangerous, but it was really dangerous. So I got off of it. I got off the side of the road, and I was literally yelling at my bike. I was literally telling my bike, you're trying to kill me. You're trying to kill me. Even though it's my hand, my throttle, my responsibility, I was blaming the bike for it because of how fast it could go. So as I was going, I did that. I've never, to this day, never
ever come by here, okay?
touched 180. Never did I touch 180 at all. I've done 140, but I think that's about as fast as I've gone since that time, and that was over 10 years ago. So I will never ever touch 180 again. So that was one of the stupid things I used to do on this bike. Well, I did. Another stupid thing I did on this bike was I was watching Biker Boys, and in this particular scene of Biker Boys, it's the part where they have where they get off the side of their bike and they're skating.
Come on, baby, let's go now. It's on fire tonight. I'm about to start a riot tonight. Why? What you think, kid? You got skills. Let's step up some.
And they have like these little slides on the bottom of the shoe that had sparks when we were riding. The sparks would come out and stuff. Now, no, I did not whatsoever try to stand on the side of my bike and slide and do like a ski thing. No, heck no. But I thought that the sparks from the bottom of the shoes were pretty cool. So I was like, well, I can't afford to get the clips that they had and all those things like that. And you know, at that time I was doing a lot of night riding, so it was like really cool to see sparks coming from your shoes and stuff like that. So I came up with the greatest idea. I took some old shoes like I don't wear anymore, and I went to Home Depot and grabbed some door hinges, and I took some screws, not too thick of a screw that it would like impale my foot, but thick enough, but you know, long enough to be able to secure the door hinges on the bottom of my shoe. And so that's what I would do. I would use a door hinge on the bottom of my shoe to create the sparks like in the movie. So I would just basically ride like I'm riding now and just put my feet down and let them just slide against the road and watch the sparks fly behind cars and stuff. I did that for a while and I thought I was like the man. I thought I was so cool. But walking around in them, like when I go to bike night, walking around in them made those noises like I was one of those people who do the dances, and they have the steel on the bottom of the hill, or a tap dancer. I sound like more like a tap dancer than a clogger. So that was one annoying thing about it. And my feet could never like walk normally because the bottom of the shoe had this big knuckle from the door hinge. That was one thing that kind of sucked. Another thing that sucked was I would be riding and I would have my foot down, spark, and then all of a sudden the hinge would fly off from the bottom of my shoe eventually. And I started to think, well, it had happened like a couple times, and I'm like, well, let me stop that, because I'm thinking about the person behind me. Had that door hinge came off and flew up and hit somebody, windshield or car, or really damaged somebody's, you know, vehicles and stuff, I didn't want to have that on my conscience. I didn't want to do that and potentially hurt somebody and maybe even kill somebody because of my negligence. So I stopped that. But for the few times I did do it, I thought it was cool. I thought I was the man. But I obviously wasn't the man. So yes, I don't do that stuff anymore at all. Oh, turn. What is wrong with you? So another thing that I used to do dumb when I first started riding, and everybody in the comments, let me know below what things have y'all done that was stupid when y'all first started riding. I'm not the only one that did stupid stuff, okay? I'm not. I can't be. But another thing I did that was stupid, that I thought was so cool, was back in the day, they had, well, they still have it, but okay. Back in the day, well, they still have it today, the little lights that you would put on your stems of your tires. Have anybody ever used those or thought those were cool? Well, I thought those were like awesome. So I got the stem, I put it on my bike, and part of the time they didn't work, or the batteries would not last long, or you had to, every time you got on your bike at night, you had to twist it and turn them on. That was annoying. But the most annoying thing would happen that made me really stop doing it was because when you put those things on your bike, sorry about the bumpiness because this road is bumpy. Okay, so a lot of times those things are top heavy and the bottom is just this little stem. And what eventually happened one day was I was riding my bike, just normal, casual, having a good time, doing me, and what ended up happening was the bottom of the stem where the tire is hooked to the rim, like that little nub, it actually wore a hole in it because with the force of the wheel spinning and the heaviness of that light, it ended up wearing a hole and making my tire go flat. So yeah, that sucked. That really sucked so bad. So I would never ever, and I suggest people who have them, don't use those, because those will eventually wear a hole in your tire. So that was one of the things I thought was really cool back in the day. Oh man, there's so many other things I used to do, man. Let's see, what else, guys? Oh, another thing I used to do that I thought was, well, cool was, okay, a lot of times, I don't be real with y'all, I never was really a good curve rider. Like, I don't ride curves very well. I mean, I can ride them, you know, up into the tail and stuff like that, but I never had a desire to like to get low on one knee and slide and all that stuff. I never was really into that. So and people used to make fun of me all the time. They look at my tires if I go to bike night or a bike meetup. They look at my tires and be like, oh man, your middle's wore out, but man, your sides are brand new. Your sides still have the nipples on there. So I got tired of people like jonesing on me about it. And I didn't know why it was such a big deal. So what I did was, I would intentionally, when I changed my tires, I would intentionally go get race takeoff tires and get those tires and use those, because the middles were fairly decent and fairly good. The sides were all ate up and all heated up and bubbled up, and it would look like that I do a lot of curves. So when I would go to bike night or go to a bike meetup, they would look at my tire like, oh man, look at you, you have no chicken strips. Your bike, you must do a lot of curves. I'd be like, yeah, you know, I get a little curve action every once in a while. You know, I know how I get it. I do my thing sometimes. Yeah, I was totally lying. So yeah, I would actually do that just because I just got tired of hearing people. So those are my few things I used to do when I was starting to ride and was young and dumb. In the comments, y'all tell me, what things did y'all do? So guys, let me get on and hit this speed because I gotta get to work. So I will holler at y'all later. Peace.